This is the first class of the Quick Start, Get Started with Sudowrite. And it's meant to let you start writing right away. Usually, used to have a series of 3 classes, 101, 201, and 301, and you didn't really start writing till the 2nd day, and people were saying, "I came here to write, and I wanna know how to write," which means that we're going to be going over the controls less. I'll show you what you need to know. However, Nicole has put a link for some great documentation she put together. We do have videos in the Discord channel that should let you show you where all the buttons are and what they do. But I know some of you said that you wanted to learn how to write with Sudowrite. Some of you said you wanted to bring in an existing work. Some of you said you just wanted to know what was going on. So we hope to show you all of that. And this is, I think, the quick start intro to Sudowrite. I don't have a slide for that yet, but I'll probably stick one up later. So I will share my screen and we will get started. Okay, let me move the controls out of the way because no matter where I put them, they're always in the way. Now, this is what we call the home screen. And every project you have ever done, unless you've deleted one, will show up on this screen. And you should see it's loading more. I've got lots and lots. If you don't give it a title right off the bat, it will number your project. And the new project will come in at whatever number is next as far as your setup is. However, when you first start up, you will be in a project. You'll be in a blank project, unless they've changed that. This project isn't blank, but it is what your project screen will look like. And to get back to that main project screen, all you have to do is hit the home key. And that will put you right back to where all your projects are. The most recent open will be at the top. And it will tell you when you were last in there and how many words total is in the project. But I thought today we would look at this. This is a story that I've been playing with just to test things. It's really part of my shifter series. I have a search and rescue shifter series, but this isn't really verbiage from any of the books. It's just to do some testing, but it is one that has a bunch of pieces that I want to tell you about. When you can add new, you have a choice between chapters or a blank document. You can stick anything in there you want to. And if you look, you'll see that, get out of here. I have scraps and I have a sensuous snippet. I have suggestions. I have my synopsis. You can put your outline in here. You can put any kind of notes you want. It's just a document. And I'm going to add a new one. I'm going to go blank document. And we come up to the top. There's a lot of scrolling here. I think they said they were going to fix that so that when you actually started a new document, you'd be in that document, not further down in your story Bible. If you have a brand new document, there's a couple of things you can do to absolutely get started writing. And one of them only works if you're in a total blank document. And it's non-self-explanatory because it is in the plugin menu. Way down at the bottom, I think. And it's first draft. To get started right away, you can do first draft, and it lets you put in 500 words about what your story really is. And it gives you some samples, mystery, nonfiction, research, and it does work well for nonfiction. It used to work very well for outlining. However, lately, it has been where it really wants to write prose no matter what you do. I suggest when you first start with, to get used to it, You pick a new project, a short project, one you're not attached to. And there is a way to bring in existing project, and we will talk about that a little bit today. There's going to be a quick start on bringing in a project. But for now, just to get started, we can set up just a sample idea. Let's see. Capitalization doesn't matter. Nothing here much matters. All right, a twisted fairy tale. What fairy tale do we want to pick on today? We have anybody have any?
Has anything, I will say Three Little Pigs as a horror story because, wow, the options are limitless there.
Can I make the Big Bad Wolf the hero?
Yeah, like I was asking, I can't remember if it was Quick Chat. I think it was Quick Chat. But in one story, the wolf was mutated or had a disease or something, was chasing the pigs through the forest. They ended up in this haunted mansion, or no, three separate houses. But the houses were actually sentient and trying to eat the pigs, and the wolf all along had been trying to warn them. Crazy.
Okay. Just because I have wolf shifters in my
What if the
series.
wolf is vegan?
Oh, okay.
And Marigold said Snow White with an evil twist. I always love an evil
You've
story.
already done it. No, you did Cinderella with the evil twist, didn't you?
Evil Cinderella.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just, for the sake of demonstration, let's just start with this, and we can either hit enter or click go. And it's going to think about it. Okay, it's writing in present tense. I didn't tell it not to. Okay, air is thick with the scent of fear, anticipation, three little pigs, now grown, okay. And they're in a wooden house, okay. And the wolf's howls. They're all grown up, that's redundant. Oh, but now they're building their own house. That logic doesn't really, I guess if they're living together while they build their houses, I guess that could be. And so she told him to stay out of the woods. Here it says, oh, it's still going. We'll see how many words it's going to write for us.
It looks like he's a vengeful vegan. Finds out you're not vegan and hunt you.
Oh, yeah. Marigold, are you going to write that book or somebody else? A whole series of twisted fairy tales. We like to use fairy tales as samples in these classes simply because everybody knows the story, so we're not really working on the plot too hard. We're just showing the features of the software. Okay, it's writing quite a bit. We're already on 900 words.
And these are
sharp keys.
It says your starter stories because it doesn't need to be anything long. It can easily be done in a chapter if you want. And you know how the original story went, so you can also just make some quick changes here just to see how that affects the story. And it helps you learn how to mess with AI a little bit more.
Okay, we got 1236 words. Oh, we got determination in his heart. I will tell you right off the bat that the AI has certain phrases that it really likes, and determination is one of them. So we're going to have determination. Yes, I wouldn't call that a real cliffhanger, but it ends at the chapter. Now, what you can do, these other tools will help you out once you've got something here. And so let's see, let's look at this paragraph about the pig was not like any other pig. Now, if we do describe, I'm going to try rewrite first. I'll come back to describe, but let's rewrite it. And we hit rewrite. We have several canned commands we can give it. We can have it rephrase, be shorter, more descriptive, show, don't tell, more inner conflict, more intense, Or if we hit customize, we can type anything we want to. And their suggestion here, it's not a suggestion, it's just an example, is to be more quirky. But I heard a while ago that the more descriptive is working very well these days. So let's make it more descriptive and click on go. And I have what puts in purple is what it's added or changed. So we're talking about massive size, muscular build, bristly fur, long razor sharp claws. And it gives me two choices. I set up my number of choices over here in the where it says right, it has a little down arrow with a caret. In the settings, I set it up to give me 2 cards. Each one of these on the right-hand side is called a card. And you can set it up for how many words you want. In this case, I say 500, which is the most we can get. But if you don't want that many, you can shorten it down. If you set it to 50, that doesn't give it much room to work. But you will be spending credits for this. When I have it set to this, I am spending up to 1,000 words worth of credits. And I know that. And then here you can pick your prose model. And actually the GPT-4o Mini is very cheap. So if you want to be very frugal with your credits, you can start with that. And when you get started, I really recommend you use the cheaper models until you find out what works and what doesn't work. I think, Nicole, isn't Goliath fairly cheap?
Actually, I find it not expensive, but it's not as cheap as you think it'd be. I'd say it's a solid
Okay.
middle.
Okay. 3.5 Sonnet is their newest, and it's really good, and it's a mid-range one. To start off with, I think I would use Mini just to, and I will show you, if you look up the little gear at the very top right, it tells you how many credits you've got. You can buy more credit, but let's look at recent activities. And, okay. So first draft, now here we have, I think this is a bug. They talked about it the other day. I'll have to look and see what my account did. First draft took 974, but it might have charged me twice for that. We'll have to look, because I don't think I have done anything else today, so it shouldn't be from that. And the rewrite cost me 198 credits. And all of these is pretty frugal. The 190 credits is nothing, basically.
Lynn,
Yes.
can you? Oh, so good.
I was just going to ask you to show people the difference between choosing the cards for the actual write settings and the number of cards for the rewrite, so they understand there's one there too.
Sure. And what was the other question?
I'm just curious about the credits and how that system works, and if you're in a subscription, does it matter, or is the subscription also do you get unlimited credits, or is it always based on credits?
Depending on your subscription, you get a certain number of credits per month. And a credit is roughly 4 characters, maybe. You'll get to learn which models uses the most credits, which one uses the least credits, which one will save you more money, which one will give you the best text.
What do you recommend for someone first starting out that probably doesn't know all the tips and tricks on how to be frugal with credits?
Right now, I think I would use GPT Mini, 4.0 Mini, the one I'm using now.
That's just a pros. I'm assuming there's other ways to figure this out, but is this on the free edition that basically gives you credits and then you're just paying credits as you go? Or is this, I thought there was like a subscription base that
you have a trial where you have a certain number of credits.
Okay.
When you run out of your trial, it's over. You can't do anything. So then you can choose to sign up at whatever model you want. And let me pull up a thing here and see. Come on, you're here. I started documentation, but I didn't finish it. I will try to get it up for you later. But here, if I pull up plans, come on, I want plans. My computer's slow because I'm on Zoom and I've got Sudowrite open. So. Come on.
Are you wanting to show the actual Sudowrite plans or something else?
Yeah, the Sudowrite.
If you to your, I was going to say another option to avoid having to open more windows on your screen. You can always click the gear icon and go to membership, and it'll pop up for them.
Now this is one I took a while ago, which this plan is not available anymore. But there's a $10 a month plan at the yearly level. It's a little bit higher at a monthly level. The professional plan, which gives you 225,000 credits. Yeah, words are my thing, not numbers. The professional plan gives you 1 million credits, and the max plan gives you 2 million credits. The max plan is the only one that your credits roll over. So when your account period, which is monthly, expires, any credits you have left will disappear and you'll be loaded with whichever plan that you're getting. But if we go back over here, you can buy more credits if you run out. Depending on your plan, it'll depend on how many credits you can buy and what they cost you. The credits you buy do not expire. So they're there like forever. And if you hover over this, you see my plan gives me 1,100,000 credits. But I have 8 million credits because I have bought some. And I get a little bit for teaching, not a lot. But these, I've got 942,000 credits that are going to expire on the 15th. So I want to make sure that, and my friends here will tell you that usually the last day or two, I'm in a panic generating all sorts of things to use up those credits. You don't have to do that, but you can.
So you're saying after teaching and doing some books, you're typically still left over with some credits at every month.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay.
Depends on how much you're writing and what you're writing and how long you're writing. Quite frankly, I haven't been writing as much as I want to because I've been teaching more with a catch-22 situation.
The sacrifices she makes for y'all.
We appreciate it. And there's obviously no transferring credits. Like you can Venmo some credits to some people.
No,
we want to tip. We want to tip you 1 million credits. Thanks for the teaching. They don't have anything like that.
Can't do that.
All right. I'm going to add that as an option for people later on because this will be a good collaboration element.
Okay, that sounds good.
They don't have a time frame on it too, and they haven't actually announced it to everybody. They just told teachers and ambassadors, but they're trying to work on having the gift card things out. Did they say by Christmas, Miss? Or hopefully by Christmas?
Yeah, by Christmas, because so if you have a friend you want to get into Sudowrite, here's some credits. You can use them. You can also set your font. I use Merriweather just because, but you have several choices, even a dyslexic font. Then you can change your font, your text size, and I have mine bigger than the default so that you can see my screen when I'm teaching. And I hope that works. And then you can set your line spacing. You can also pick a theme. And right now I'm in Moonbeam. When you start, you either get Sorbet or Moonbeam, and they're both light colored themes. They're trying to figure out which one's best. Here's Sorbet. It's more of a pastel. My favorite is Cauldron because I have old eyes and I can see better. But the students have had some trouble in classes seeing that. And there's also something I'm testing that doesn't show up in the dark themes. So you can play with that as you want to and switch it back and forth, and it doesn't hurt a thing. You can turn the word count off and on. I don't know why you'd want your word count off, but you can. And you can indent your paragraphs, or you can have them flush. So that's fine. So that's mainly your controls for your account. And so we had done the describe, right? Go back up to the top where we were. I do hope they fix that a little bit. So what we have rewritten is here, and we can, if I want to insert it in, it will put it in and change what I have written. I can copy it and move it someplace else. I can chop it up. If I want to copy it and put in another document, I can take a bit of this one and a bit of this one. Now, what Nicole was saying is on the rewrite, you also have the number of cards you can set. So if you want write to have a different number of cards than you have on rewrite, you can set that too. Okay. And if I come here and we have I'll just highlight some text. And when I do, I get these down here. I could go up here and get them, but they're nice and they pop up right here. I can click rewrite and get that same menu I got a while ago. I can click describe, and I'll cover that in a minute. Expand makes that longer. Visualize uses Dolly 3 and actually creates a picture of what you're looking at. And Visualize uses 2,500 credits, just plain right out of the box. Quick Edit is ChatGPT. You can talk to it directly. You can do a quick edit or a quick chat. I could say quick edit. I could say rewrite this from a different point of view or whatever I wanted to have it play around with. If you're using chat and you have it clicked over here, you're not on higher quality, it's free. So you can use chat all day if you want to for free. If you put it on higher quality, it will use up your credits because it's the difference, I think, in talking GPT-4 and GPT 3.5, GPT Turbo, which is not bad. Yeah. So that's one thing you could do. But up here with describe, you probably want to do your settings before you describe anything because it will give you a card for sight, for smell, for taste, for sound, for touch, and it will give you a metaphor. So it will run all of these unless you turn it off. And the metaphor is not to. And let's see. I don't care how their house in the woods taste. I don't care what the touch is on that. So once I get these set, if I hit describe, either here or in the box because I've highlighted things, I will get cards, one per. So it's telling me what the house looks like. It's got the thatched roofs, they're huddled together inside, fear and determination. We got determination again. If you're going to play a drinking game with AI favorite phrases, make sure it's non-alcoholic or you'll be on the floor in no time at all. Okay, and then here it's scent of wood and straw, but fear and anxiety, listening to the wolf's howl, musty smell of old book. And see, it's giving me like 3 choices of each scent, and that's okay. We got the sounds of the howls of the wolf, the rustle of leaves and twigs. So if you're stuck or if you write like I do, which on my first draft, my descriptions are pretty thin, then you can go to this and get it to come up and give you some help. Do you understand that? So that's how you can use these tools to help you. If you're used to writing on your own, You can certainly do that. Let's add a new document. This one we started out with first draft to give us hints, but we can start out and write it ourselves. Whoops. If you're the kind that really likes a clean screen, you want a plain white screen to write with, you can click these little buttons, and you can even click the top button to have the menu up there go away, and you can make this go away. And so here we have a document that we can type in. I haven't done typing in a long time. But that may not be enough words to bring it up. I can do a describe and I can do a quick edit. So if I do a describe, we'll see what happens. Because we're doing describe, let me open up this. Just click on the little buttons again and you get them back. So here we have the fox bounding through the air, sleek red fur, catches on the sunlight. And we have the smell of autumn leaves and the fox fur. So basically, you can write like you've always written without AI. And then when you get stuck, you can use any of these tools. In fact, I could use, I highlight it again, I could go into quick edit and I can say, or descriptive and action filled. And I'm on the lower quality, so it's not going to use any credits. But it will. Okay, so here we have bounding gracefully across the moss-covered rocks, the sleek red fox with fur shimmering like flames leaped deftly over the dozing poodle with amber eyes glint with mischief. Okay. Now we can either accept that or we can reject it. If you like it, leave it. If you don't, you can change it. So that's how to bring AI into your writing process without disrupting your writing process greatly. However, if you want to let the AI write more for you, there's another way to do that. This is a computer. There's a jillion ways to do the same thing. And no one way is right or wrong. No workflow is right or wrong. I can't say do it like I do it, like Nicole does it. You have to find your own. And for the first month or so, maybe 2, you will be working on finding your workflow. And you don't think of wasting your credits, thinking about it, investing your credits in learning how to write with the AI the way that you want to write. So here is the gem of Sudowrite, is the story Bible. You can turn it off, you can turn it on, it doesn't matter. When you come into a project, it will be off and you will have to turn it on. If you know a little bit about your story, but you don't know much about it, you can start here in Brain Dump. If you open up Story Bible, it goes straight down. So you want to write anything you know about the story in your Brain Dump. What you don't want to do is give it all the backstory. That's the mistake I make too much, is I want to know how the characters got to this point. So I tell how the characters got to this point, and when you do that, it will write your backstory, and that's not what you want. But here we could say, I'm going to stay with our same theme. So that's what I want. The genre, because this is the story that I'm writing, is the shifter action adventure. Let's call it, let's get rid of shifter. Unless we want the wolf to be a shifter, let's get rid of romance. And we'll make Nicole happy and make it a horror story. The style, don't worry about the style too much right off the bat, but this is one of my basic styles. Fast-paced, action-packed, show don't tell. The AI has been trained on a whole lot of writing, and the writing isn't always the best. So it does tend to like to tell. So you may want to have it show every chance you get. And then I like to have vivid visual verbs. You can also hit match my style. And there you can paste up to 2,000 words of your own writing. And it will, let's see, let me copy some of this. Let me grab that. Actually, I'll grab a chapter. Tell me I've got a chapter in here. Come on, up, up, up. I come back down here to the story Bible and go into style. I don't know how many words that is. It'll fuss at me if I'm over, but that's okay. I will paste in that. Oh yeah, I'm way over. Way over. Well, let's see. And we'll delete that. We still have. Now I'll just run it all the way up. I still need to get rid of 500 and some odd. Okay, so that's down. If I click next, it will analyze my writing. Actually, part of that's AI's writing. It's better if you use your own writing that wasn't AI. Okay. But it tells me about the tone and mood. We got a determined tone. Okay. It tells me this is third person limited following the protagonist. Descriptive evocative language. Sentence structure's varied. Pacing is moderate. Mixture of introspective and action packed. And the dialogue reveals the characters. It's got themes and motifs. Don't worry about that too much in the beginning. Past tense, analytical, observant, and curious. Do not send it to doc. Do not hit next. Put your cursor in the middle, hit Command or Control A, and then Command or Control C, and copy that and set it off someplace. Because the minute you hit next, that's going to go away. And the reason for that is your style box only has room for 40 words. So it has to compress it a lot. But you might want to keep that longer description. Okay, so here we go to 41 words, okay? Third person limited point of view, formal complex vocabulary, varied sentence structure, moderate pacing, descriptive style, recurring theme of determination. I would definitely take that out because it's got enough determination as it is. Okay. However, if I had wanted to keep that in and I'm one word over, what do I do? You can hyphenate some words. And see, that makes it 40. Don't get carried away with that because that will confuse the AI. If you have, say you hyphenate every word, I could take that long description and hyphenate every word, and that wouldn't serve me the way that it really should. So I'm going to take out determination. There we go. Whoops. No, I don't want all of that. I just went from A to recurring. If I insert that, it will go into my style box. So that's how you can match your style if you're in the middle of existing work, if you have work you've done before, you want to keep your author voice the same. But now we have the synopsis, and we told it what we want to write about, which has nothing to do with the synopsis I have. So I can hit generate synopsis, and it will look back at, we look at the little question mark, it looks at the brain dump and the genre, and it writes a synopsis for me using that. So if you want to see what the ad does, just let it go for a while. Okay, and it gives me the whole thing. We got Petunia. Oh, wait, she has a cauldron of searing hot liquid. Okay. What you really want to do if you want to avoid more editing later on is really read this and look at it and make all the changes you want. Oh, Ringer. I guess I would imagine he's our wolf, but you can rewrite it. If you didn't like it, you could tell it how to change it. However, that will use up more credits. It's usually, if the synopsis is on the right track, you do better just to edit the box here. That will work well for you. And then you can also have it generate your characters. I should start with this one I don't care about, but so if I generate my characters, I can generate a character and I can say who I want it to be. If this were a fresh manuscript and I didn't have any characters, it would say generate cast of characters, and it would look at the synopsis and see who it needed, and it might add some more. And at that point, you can just generate your characters. If you already have a work in progress, if you know where you're going, and you know how to use the software, you can stick in your own synopsis. You can stick in your own characters. And they have given us quite a bit of room here in the characters. You can make it shorter, you can make it longer. You can give it other pronouns, other names. You can tell it who he is, whether he's the protagonist, the antagonist, supporting character, minor character, love interest. And you can do quite a bit with different traits. This one I pulled over from one of the older ones when we didn't have the expanded character, so my characters are real short. But we can add a trait if we want to. And we can call it whatever we want. We can give it her personality, if I want to use it automatically. Okay, let's just say, when you want to use a specific trait, you can tell it to always use it, which is not here yet. You can let the AI decide when to use this character or trait, or you can say never use it. And if the AI likes to look ahead at your outline and bring in a whole bunch of stuff that you probably don't want. So what you can do is just tell it never use it. And then when you get to the chapter where you do want that person, you can set it on automatic. Sometimes you have to hide things in the AI. So that's how you do your characters. You can throw that in. You can also set up a template and add all the different things you want. The outline, you can do the same thing and generate your outline. Now this is a huge outline because I wanted everything. So I can't put it all in this little bitty outline space. So see, what I do is I do it chapter by chapter, and then I just put a summary for the other ones. And then when I want to expand 4, because I'm out of space, I'd get rid of 1 to 3. Or you do need to keep your chapter numbers. You need to say chapter number, but you don't need to keep any words behind it. And you do need to have at least Act 1, then Chapter 1. Most of the time, people say, my outline isn't working, it won't generate. it's because your syntax is wrong there. That's a really thing. And sometimes I have had some success, not a lot. Here you can rewrite your outline. If you're getting an outline that's not working well for you, if it won't do anything, you can't generate chapters, you can say, rewrite the outline in the proper format. And sometimes it works real fine. Because if you don't have it in the proper format, it won't create a chapter for you. And this one, I think I have, if I want to add a new chapter, I have up to 24 because I have 24 chapters outlined in my outline. So you have to have the chapter in the outline before you can have Sudowrite create the chapter for you. And if you have something that you don't, say I changed something and I don't want it changed, you have a little history button here. See the little clock? Now this is the style that we just created. If I want to go back into my shifter style, I can look here and it's right here. It hasn't gone away. I can restore it or I can cancel it and go back and use the one I had. Sudowrite is very good about not deleting words or pieces or even projects unless you say delete. And there's a couple of places where you delete and it said, are you really sure? If you do delete it here, it's going to be gone. But that's in very few places. If there's some sort of accident, you haven't pressed the, yes, I really want to delete this, and you lose something, you can contact the team at hi@sudowrite.com, and chances are they can get it back for you. Now, what I will do, because we have, it's going to put the characters strangely, but let's add a new chapter 1, and we'll go with our new synopsis. Because we did change the synopsis, did we not? Yeah, we did. Okay. So then I want to do the outline. Come down to the outline. And let's generate the outline based on what we did. If you ever want to know what outline is looking at, they're going to put chiclets here for us. They're calling little tags that tell us what it's using. But you can click on the question mark and it will tell you about that section and what it's looking at to do that. Okay, so we got Ryder, the wolf protagonist. What we're going to have here is a mishmash because we have the characters from the other story. But that's okay. That's okay. So then we can come down to our new chapter that we just generated. That should be totally blank. And right now, beats are how the AI actually creates the prose. That may change in the future. You see here what it did is it brought over our description from our outline. And that's okay. I don't think it changed. Nah, it didn't change. This is the original one. But you can let it take your description and generate the beats. We'll click on beats. And this is, I think it's the most important to edit your outline and your beats. The more you edit there, the less you'll have work to do later. Beats are tricky because it usually gives you, okay, this one's giving me 14 beats. And I like to have it end on a cliffhanger. A beat will generate about 300 words. The AI writes 2 beats at a time. We call that a stride. And in that document that will link to, there's a vocabulary because we use a lot of weird words. But we're just beginning with them lost. I'm going to combine beat 1 and beat 2 because I don't think that's enough. Oh, and I'm going to combine beat 3 because we're still talking about Ryder and the team. Once you have the number 1 here, you don't have to renumber them. You can let them go however you want. Okay, so we got Emily. Emily is a name it really likes, and I already have a character Emily anyway. Okay. Yeah, I'll let that go. So just to show you how the prose generation works, I will do this. I can generate the chapter. It estimates with the default that it's going to cost 32,000 credits, and it will be 2,400 words. However, click the down arrow, and you can make your own choice here. And if I go 40 mini, what did that say? 23 something? If I say mini, it was 32. It goes from 32,000 to 1,200. So you can check and see which ones are cheapest. I like that. That's less than a credit a word, apparently. So it tells me it's GPT-4o mini, and I can click on generate the chapter, and it will think about it. And it's writing beat 1 and 2 together. I can pause it if I want to see what it's doing, and it will finish beat 1 and 2, and then it will stop. So it tells me thick with tension, biting chill, layers of his gear, treacherous terrain, twisted labyrinths, jagged rock. Ooh, all right is 2 words. Usually it's 1 word here. Okay, I'll take it. Okay, this is a new character I never heard of, and it does that sometimes. And we have some dialogue. Has it finished? We got to continue, so it's finished. So I can edit any of this. I can change what I want to. I can continue it. I can also use those laser tools on it. I can do like I said, oops. When I do that, see, I have the rewrite, describe, expand, visualize, and quick edit. So I can use those to edit as I go. I can wait till the chapter's finished. I can wait till the whole book's finished and do the editing. Now, this has been a really fire hose method at you on how to actually start putting words down when you start with Sudowrite. And I hope you're not totally overwhelmed. I hope that's enough to get you started. Go ahead and ask questions. What do you want to see again? What are you confused about? Unmute or type in the chat.
I have a question
Sure.
on going back to the pig story. You said something about like you can take a visual, like a picture, but it costs like 2,400 points.
Sure.
I would love to try to see what something like that looks. Is that even worth doing?
Okay, some people really like it, some people really don't. But when you're in a class, you're using my credits, so it doesn't matter.
This is why I felt this would be a great idea.
Yeah, we can look at all of this you want. Let's see. So what do you want?
We'll wait for those gift cards to come out later for you.
There you go. There you go. Okay, let's see. That's our synopsis. Come on. We wrote, I know we did. Come on. Entitled 2 is it, I think. Okay, did I?
You could do the fox one too. It doesn't really
Well,
matter.
did I write over that? Wait a minute. Not necessarily, because we can. What happened to it? Okay, what did I do, Nicole?
See it's gone. Did you happen to click the double arrows at the top? I think they must have another bug because it's disappeared on me a few times. The refresh will have to do. There it is.
But I should be able to do my history. But that's blank, so that's not going to help.
You could do the fox jumping over. I don't need you to have to find that exact one. I just want to see what that looks like. What's
Okay.
that?
Yeah, highlight all that. And I'll click on visualize. And it'll think about it. Sometimes you get some real good stuff. It's AI generated art. If you're familiar with that at all, sometimes it's great and sometimes it's not.
With a lot of missing fingers and stuff like that for people?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And here we go. The pros is the same way. I say that they all have sort of mental problems and they go off their meds. So if one of them isn't acting good for you that time, you might, let's see, I'm going to insert it. Come on.
Yeah, you'll probably definitely have to refresh now. That's been an issue.
Yeah, because it never hurts to refresh. It's like Windows, turn it off and turn it on. Sudowrite, refresh.
And if you were to continue on, say, writing that, and you had more pictures that you want to use, would it remember the same sort of picture of the
No, the
box,
pictures
or
are not.
it's
The
going to be
pictures are not good.
okay?
Not yet.
You can't create a character and then keep that same character the whole time whenever you do a new picture.
Now
Okay.
we keep asking for that. But what you could do is you could take this picture in a mid-journey and say, give me several that look like this.
Got it.
But what you also can do, where's our pros? We scroll back up again. Come on. Did I find another bug? Because I want the untitled. What happened to our pros? Looks like it went away. Because we're on Untitled 2. And if we want the chapter generator thing to go away, we can just click on the typewriter and it will. But what happened to our prose?
I think you had it highlighted whenever you clicked insert on the picture.
Oh, I must have. Yeah, I must have. I don't want to restore it because that may go over our picture. So I'm going to cut and paste. Just because. And I'll come down here and I'll paste it in.
And you can write that wording for middle grade or younger, and there you go. There's your one page in your kids' book.
Yeah. But if I want to continue the story, see where I've got my cursor at the end of this? I can click on write. And it should give me some cards. Oh, we got a Lily. It loves Lily too. And the tranquility of forests. Okay. Because I have the synopsis and I have the characters, it's bringing in my characters and my story, so they're on a rescue mission, which you wouldn't have if you were starting from scratch. With every heartbeat, oh, we're getting a little purple prosy here. Oh, as the sun dipped below the horizon. AI likes to tell time using the sun. Oh, you probably want to edit that part around. Oh, here, we're back to the poodle, who stirred slightly. Okay, Emma is a falcon shifter, and she's ahead. She's talking to that, so that's okay. But do you see how you can get it to keep writing for you? Then once you've got something written, you can use the edit tools, you can use the rewrite tools, you can manipulate it. How do you want to do that? So what questions do you have? What I want to do, and I haven't talked Sudowrite into doing it yet, is to have another class, like a lab class, and where I can show you each one of these steps and then have you do it in your own account, and to make sure that you're figuring things out. I've been looking at weekends for that because the weekdays are pretty thick with classes and some people have to work. What do you think of that idea? Is that something that might appeal to you? Because as you saw with all this information that we have to cover, I didn't have time to stop and say, Okay, you put in a premise in first draft to let it write for you. You do a rewrite and let it write for you. Is that something you would be interested in, or is that just I have no desire at all?
I think it sounds like a good idea. I think it could take some time to get everybody on board with something like that.
And that's why I wanted to do it after this class, after you have a little time to absorb it, and then because that if you look at learning principles, that's how you do it. Is right away you don't understand it, but say you sleep on it, and then you've got it a little bit firmer in your mind.
If you were to take all the time and do like you're starting something, you use the whole story Bible and you go all the way through the brain dump, the genre, the style, the synopsis, characters, all the way down the line. You said there's multiple ways of doing these things.
Mhm.
That seems like a very organized way to put your thoughts together. But if you're missing something, I guess you can always put in your acts and your outline, you can add something in afterwards and rewrite different
Yes,
things. But well, I guess what I'm thinking is the story Bible like the most popular way of
yes, it
starting
is. It
this thing.
is.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And I'm a pantser, so I stick things in there, and then about midway through, my story may go off in a different direction. So then I may have to revise everything in the story Bible about halfway through. But that's my style. Some people, and I know Nicole, fills out every box as much as she can. And she has done some wonderful classes, and they're in the Discord, of course, video channel. Is everybody on Discord?
Yes.
Yeah. Make sure you're on Discord. She has classes where she goes through the boxes one at a time and goes into depth in that. Because, like I said, this is a quick start. This is just here's a little bit of everything. But hers are in depth for each class. And she's, what do you call it? Intro to Sudowrite School. What is it that you just did?
One where we spend one class on each box is AI and the author.
Ah, okay.
And then we have our 3-day 101 beginners, which I think most people here are past that point of needing that one.
And
Then, of course, we have our write with me.
yeah, she has a great YouTube channel where I think some of things move so fast that by the time we get documentation written or video up, it's slightly different. But she has videos that take small segments. And I have a channel where my classes are in. And what I told the team I would do is I will make a commitment to getting this video up, at least in my YouTube channel. If it takes them longer to put it in the course video channel, that's okay. Because I want the video to be available before we think about doing a lab. So if there's something that you're not sure about, you can look at the video, you can stop it and rewind it, right along with it, whatever.
I've got a question. I
Yes.
tried to use Canvas to outline a short
Mhm.
story romance type thing, but it seemed to be giving me an awful lot of steps through the outline. And I was thinking in a
Canvas,
short story, it seemed to be a lot.
yeah, Canvas isn't really integrated with anything else. And they've talked about just taking it out. It was a very early tool. Where it is real helpful is if you have a idea and you have say you have your outline, but you need a transition or something, you don't know what that is. If you fill it all out, except that one, and then you can click on generate this box, then that's where it's useful. And you can choose your outline. You have the same outlines that you do in the chapters. And then you can, for the most part, you don't have novel outlines. But you can set that up. You can generate your entire thing, you put your story concept here, or you can fill in the boxes and then ask it to fill in the ones that you don't know. but I don't use it all that much because I don't find it that helpful. Nicole used to. Are you still using it, Nicole?
I love it for like my mood board type thing, like to visualize my characters. And I actually taught a class to show one of my methods. I like to use the different outline types because you can actually have more than one outline type on that board. So I can do my hero's journey or Hollywood Beats outline for my main story. Then I can do romance outline to have that romance subplot or whatever I need to throw in there. And then story circle, since it's so small, it usually does like the 6 to 8 boxes. I can do story circle for just another subplot too. And then I mix and match, combine everything into a document and play with. That's giving me the best depths to my story.
And she does have videos out on Canvas.
That's interesting. Thank you very much.
It depends on what you want to do, how you want to do it. And another thing I just want to mention is the chapters is what we call silos. This is the chapter 1. It's linked to the outline. When I go to chapter 2, chapter 1 or chapter 2 does not know anything that happened in chapter 1. It knows what's in your outline. It knows your style and your genre, but it does not know what happened in chapter 1. So in order to, and it's this one that has it. Okay. No, I don't have the, this is one of my tests that I was doing something else. Yeah, no, I just copied in, I think. But you can put information in your beats, ahead of your beats. And let's see, if you do that, let me turn my beats back on. Like here, I'm telling it third person deep point of view, Harper, avoid killing, show using action. Remember, gotta keep nagging it. Avoid dialogue tags. If you don't, you'll get an adverb behind every dialogue tag. And because it's not working with my characters well, it's throwing in other characters or changing their shifter form, I tell it, Ryder's a wolf, Carlos is a bear, Emma's a falcon, Riley's a retriever, blah, blah, blah. And then I say start with a hook and end on a cliffhanger. I'm using brackets. I don't need brackets, or I could use something else. The first number, the number 1, tells it that's where your beats start. So I can come down here to check beats, and it tells me that all this is in the header and that these are my beats. Because I've combined a ton of beats. But then when I come down here, oops, too far. I can I can hide the beats, and then it will just go back in and show me. Here we say, well, do whatever it takes. That line's going to go. So what questions you have? Do you find this particular class valuable? Is it too much? Would you rather have it spread over separate classes? Does it give you enough to start with and you want to jump in and do it yourself? Give me some feedback on it. And you will be asked for feedback when you log off or get email the next day or something as well.
I think it was very good. I think if you joyride through a little bit ahead of time, it might help you. But I think what's nice, I think the program has a nice way of putting things in gray characters, saying this is how you should write it. Like you were saying, you have to have acts before a chapter, and it says that already when you're putting something in, which is really nice. So you don't really need to remember that.
Unfortunately, when you start typing, that goes away.
That goes away. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But yeah, they're pretty good with giving you examples.
Yeah, I thought that was good. The one thing that I didn't see an example for, and I saw something you just did right there, was you were giving sort of like more character information, and in the character traits in the story Bible, it has add traits. Is there certain words or terminology that you have to use when you're doing, let's say you're doing a story and you have a complex relationship things and you want to add what's the relationship? Could you put a relationship or would they even understand what that is?
Yes. In fact, I think Nicole uses, is it Nicole or Marigold? uses purpose in the story, role in the story, relationship to the main characters. Let me find a better
So you can add whatever you want.
project.
You don't have
Oh,
to.
yeah.
You're not trying to find certain cues that AI will understand.
No, AI is pretty good about it's been trained on a lot. It's pretty good about knowing what you want, and it understands Enneagrams, it understands Myers-Briggs, it understands character diamond. Any of those that you want to let's see, did I put anything in AI battles? Maybe characters.
I linked my spreadsheet with ideas too.
Oh, super.
Oh, great, great.
Yeah. Okay,
Well,
here I do not have. I just did a whatever, but I don't have any characters. I don't have any style. I don't have much of anything. And see, it says generate all characters. So I can click on that and but I can click on customize here. Oops. I can import characters. I can export characters. This is the default. And this is my default. Can give you an age, a body description, strengths and weaknesses, motivation, goals, Myers-Briggs, personality, dialogue, tone of voice, the backstory. Character diamond is mine, and the role in the story is mine. And I have saved that as a default. So for any new story I start, that's what it's going to start assigning to the character. If I just click here and generate all characters, we'll see what it does.
Does it know Clifton strengths?
You can add that. Yes, definitely.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, it knows what Clifton strengths is.
the main thing to remember when you're naming the trait fields is that it can hold up to 300 characters in the name of the trait field, but also they act as AI prompts. So if you tell it Enneagram type and then put in parentheses, show how this affects their relationships in the story or their speech maybe or their habits, you guide the AI with every field name that you put. So you're telling it, you can tell it how much information to give you or what kind of places to focus on.
Now, see here we have Cassandra, and it tells her body description. It also tells what kind of clothes she wears, her strengths, her weaknesses, her motivation and goal, her Myers-Briggs. And she's meticulous and perceptive. Her dialogue is a thoughtful nature, clarity, empathy, choosing words. And here's her backstory. Her primary trait is she's empathetic, and the secondary is perceptive. And then the contrasting trait is she's cautious. And she's a talented developmental editor for romance novels. Okay. And then we have Julian. It always thinks anything over 6 foot's impressive. Dark hair, quick wit, silver tongue. It tells us about him. It gives his backstory.
Look, Miss Lynn, I'm 5'4", and I know you're shorter than me, so 6'2", anything over 6'2" is impressive.
Not
Yeah,
impressed
I'm
by height
5'5".
because I am so short. Okay, so Victoria runs. She's an athlete sort of thing. And so this is how it fills out the character box for you. You can certainly modify it. One thing that it likes to do, and I didn't see it in here. Have you seen any piercing eyes?
I got one in my class yesterday.
Piercing blue eyes. Here we go. Nathan has it. If you leave that in, sometimes I leave it in for the first description of the person, but it will bring in piercing blue eyes every time this character is mentioned. So it'll probably talk about his chiseled jawline. So I would, after it's used at once, I would edit probably what it said in the first place, and then I'd just delete that. Or I can tell it to never use the physical description again once it's described him once. Okay, speaks with a calm And if it's hitting us with the backstory too much, you can hide the backstory. And everything we told you about characters also goes in world building. You may think that if you're not writing fantasy, you don't have world building, but you do. My Shifter series, I have the location where they are. I have what their headquarters building looks like. I have the fancy resort on the other side of the mountain with the tourists that are always getting themselves lost or in trouble. In my romantic suspense, I have the AFT office. I have the FBI office. I have things like that. I have where the bad guys are doing their thing. So here you can pick an element and generate the element. And once again, you can customize. And here we have for setting, it does sensory and does location. You can have an organization, like I have my ATF organization, my FBI organization, whatever. Tell it what the headquarters are like. Do key events. You can do clues if you're doing mystery. And with the clues, you probably want to hide them before you're ready for them. Or if you tell it who the bad guy is, you absolutely have to hide them. You can describe your magic system, your technology, what kind of government you have, culture, religion. World building works exactly the same way as characters does. And if I click generate element, I can generate a setting. I don't care. I click on setting. I can come down, oops, come on, setting. And I click on generate element. Oh, it wants to know a little bit. Where are we? I think we're in a coffee shop here. This isn't a real story. Okay, so we have Java Haven's a coffee nook. And it tells us what it's like. The sensory description of stepping inside it. It's a quaint. Wait a minute. Okay, so we got Coffee Nook, Java Haven, and Cozy Bean. So we could pick which one we wanted. What I will tell you to do is to go and play with this. Come back to me. You can, there's the help, there's the Sudowrite general channel, and you can DM me in Discord. I'm always around in Discord. If you have questions, if you want to see something else, and I will try to get this video up as soon as I can I'd like to say tonight, in at least my YouTube. If not, I'll give it to Sudowrite. Whenever they get it up, they'll get it up, but I'll stop. I think, yeah, there we go. And I'm recording now in case somebody has something they want to say not on the recording.